is going on out there? Hey, everybody, JT here, back with you in the studio. Audio check. We got it going on. I hope we do, and I hope you're there and you guys can hear me today. What's happening out there in your world, out in the great big USA and points beyond, and whatever, wherever you might be. Gosh, we already got a couple people in the studio. Peter Henderson, of course. Hey, and damn it. You know what? Oscar Peter beat you. So I don't know if that means anything in the big truck drag world, but yeah, you came in second there, man. I think you got a whole shot on you. John, good to have you back in the show as a regular, and of course, Miss Julia in the house. Hope you're feeling better, honey. I got a lot of those going out to her. God darn it, girl, get better, would you? And hey, everybody, listen. Real quick, first of all, want to thank Minimizer for being our sponsor and presenting the show here today to everybody. Minimizer been with us for a long, long time, and hopefully going to stick with us and stay there for the future. They'll be presenting the Thursday Night Lights from Mid-America again this year, and that's going to be from the Paul K. Young Truck Beauty Championship show Thursday night. Tune in for that. Minimizer.com. Today's show featuring a product from Minimizer, their poly fenders. And listen, they're not for everybody, but let me tell you what, they're for a lot of you, and especially guys that can't seem to keep their fenders on their truck, whether they got people running into them or they're running into stuff or dropping things on them or whatever might be happening. These things are pretty much indestructible. And I'd say pretty much is probably inaccurate. They're indestructible. They got a lifetime guarantee on them. So a lot of good stuff there to be offered by Minimizer. Not only their fenders, of course, that they have, pretty much had forever and ever and ever, but many more products that I can tell you about. But listen, rather than me tell you about it, let's just let them do the talking. How's that?
I'm a second generation, and my daughter will become third generation here starting next week. I've been about as passionate about trucks as I am about cattle. The trucks, they serve the cattle very well, and I carry that same passion and enthusiasm into creating and designing trucks as I have. We get on some goat trails, we get on some gravel roads, we get in areas where you get some over center action going on. The fenders are pliable. If we have to put a trailer down onto a fender, we know it's going to come right back. They're paintable now, so I can actually paint them to the color scheme of the truck. Again, it makes it look a little bit more fitted. When this truck arrives, I mean, it sends a very clear message that we take pride. We are trying to do it the right way. I mean, I don't believe in just doing something to merely exist. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it as best I can, or I'm going to do something else. This truly has met my objective, where it's lightweight, it's economical, it's durable, and it looks good.
There you go, Minimizer. Thank you very much. Appreciate them taking care of business for us today and making that happen, and many, many other things that they do for us here at 10-4 and for you out there. A huge line of truck products. Check them out, minimizer.com. I always say this about their website, too. It's one of the best websites out there. It's just simple, easy, interactive. It asks you, where do you want to look at? Where do you want to find things? What are you trying to find in those places about your truck, inside, outside, in the cab, on the, whatever. It's there. So minimizer.com. All right. Listen, hey, got a great show for you today. This is going to be the show we were talking about here for the last couple of weeks. Got Carlos Borgen in the wings here in the green room waiting for us. And we're going to bring Carlos out here in a bit. But his company, Business Growth Consultants. And this is a company that helps you to get your credit straightened out. Whether your credit's great and you need some help making it just freaking awesome, or if you want to get your credit that ain't so great and need some help at least getting to be good, this is the guy that's going to help you get there. So we'll bring Carlos out here shortly. Want to say howdy to everybody. Hey, Cody, do you know the cow truck that we featured there on that Minimizer commercial? being that you're kind of in that realm of things. Yeah, Dan, 10-4, echoing, buddy. We got the reverb going on. That's a big strapper radio come on. And we're just playing around with it a little bit. But anyway, yeah, that's how the big truckers roll, right? Anybody out there got a big CB? Incidentally, I don't even know who's got big radios anymore these days. Back in my day, man, it was Connex. I had a badass radio that had a huge linear on it. I think it was a Road Ranger mic. I can't remember, man. It's been a while, but I'm kind of bummed because I got to tell you, I went out to the shop yesterday to get some tools. I got a guy here working on some appliances, and he needed some things that I had and he didn't have with him. And I go out there and you know what? My radio is gone. My radio is gone. I can't believe it. That Connex was the radio. I mean, that radio, you'd key that mic up on that thing and walk over 10 people around you. It was mobile base station is kind of what everybody used to tease me about on that radio, but it was bad. Dan, good question. Choice of radio. Yeah. Cody's got a few here. So, you got the Galaxies out there. You got the Connexes out there. Galaxy been around a long time and it's always been a good radio, reliable. Connex was my choice because it just had a little more programmability and features to it that I liked. And then I had the thing all, hot rodded out, man. It had all the cool LEDs and the view meter on it had changing lights and you could control the colors. And, you just get crazy when you got a big truck and you want to play. And that one I certainly did. It had a lot of fun, man. It was a good radio, but reliability super. In fact, you know what? That radio was so powerful. I hardly ever even used the linear. I'd turn the linear on when I needed to really get it out there and get out a long ways, but for the most part, didn't even need it. But I'm hoping I was smart and I put that thing somewhere when I moved. It is safe and I find it because that radio kind of has a sentimental value to it. Well, you know what? And let's put a call out there to everybody. You guys name them off. Cody, you threw a couple of names out there. Obviously Cobra, Striker. Striker, I don't know about, Dan. I've not heard of that. But the Cobra obviously comes pretty much standard in a lot of trucks out there. We see them all the time up here in the new trucks that roll in. That being said, I think that's just probably big politics there. And we'd like to do something really special for you guys. And this year, we're looking for a CB radio. And I'm going to put a shout out there to the guys that do this. If you guys know anybody in your area that's got, the chicken shack that programs and tunes radios and does everything for all you guys and wants to get in on this, we'd like to have a radio with a full package in one bucket. All right. If you want to do more, that's fine. But one bucket at the Truckin' for Kids bonus bucket, and that's for the first 200. So, odds would be pretty good for you guys, whoever gets in under that cap of the first 200 to get that radio, whatever it might be. So it would behoove you to get a good radio in that bucket with a good installation and complete package. I mean, I'd like to see it be the radio, the mic, antennas, the whole deal installed. And listen, we'll feature them out here on Studio 10-4 Live. We'll give them a plug or two or whatever. We'll take care of them. But we'd like to get somebody that's got some power, man. And it doesn't matter where they're from, what region of the country. But it'd be cool if it was the West Coast, because then whoever that is, they're going to benefit the most. I think really they're going to be seeing a lot of our guys coming out of this and benefiting from donating. So think about it, put it out there for us if you would. All right. Dan's calling you out, Cody, right there, buddy. You want to make a donation? There it is, man. I mean, you know what? I don't want to put a limit on this either. if one of you guys out there want to be the one to throw that in there, we'll take the radio, whatever you guys want to put in the bucket. But I think that's a big package, man. I'll tell you, I can't remember how much mine was, but I'll tell you, it was not a little C note deal. It was a big deal. But I had a lot going on there. So anyway, CBs. Hopefully, guys are still using them like they used to. I don't think they are. I know they're not. But they need to get back into it, man. It's not a culture; it's a way of life. It really should be, because there's so many times when the radio is going to be the way to get through to your fellow driver out there on the road, and have them know what's going on out there, ahead of them, behind them, whatever's happening, going by them. Typically that's just nobody needs to know a phone number. You're on 19, you're live, you can talk to guys. Share information and keep each other out of trouble. So hopefully the CB way of life is still being carried on out there, and be respectful out there, guys. For the most part, I can't ever forget about how there was always one guy, especially on the overnight, when you're running out there in the overnight, that would just get everybody all stirred up. And for as much of a a-hole as that guy might have been sounding like, whether he knew it or not, meant to do it or not, he was keeping everybody awake, because he got everybody so doggone mad that all he wanted to do was catch up with them, and everybody going the opposite way would just have it out with them until they were out of range. And it was funny because these guys, they have big radios, some of them, and they just do nothing but stir everybody up, tell them what mile marker they were at, and how nobody could catch them. And oh man, I'm sure everybody's got that story. We'll have to have a show on CB radios and the way people are on the radio. Anyway, there was a lot of fun back then, and honestly, like I said, those guys, and there's some rank ones out there, but there was some that just would get everybody stirred up enough to where they keep them awake at night, because boy, do we need it sometimes. Yeah, Kevin, there was a lot of foul language out there, and listen, we all cuss like truckers anyways for the most part, so it's not like we haven't heard it before, but we should be polite to one another when we're on the radio and we're talking to each other. I think it's a lot more of a enjoyable experience. So Jeremy Neal, thanks, buddy. Oh my gosh, yeah. I don't know what that's all about, but I don't doubt it, man. I just don't doubt it. Thanks for sharing that. Hey, I want to take a second and say howdy to everybody that I haven't already said hello to. So many people tuned in here so fast, and I was on the run here. So Mud Duck says Striker 955 is a way to go. Mud Duck, is there just like one Mud Duck, or is there like multiple Mud Ducks? Because there's always a Mud Duck, and that's the guy out of Reading. His name was Chicken Lips. I don't know if y'all remember that guy, Chicken Lips, up there in that shack by the Peterbilt dealership, which is now burnt down. They moved to a new location, but that Peterbilt dealership in Reading there, that was the Chicken Shack, and Chicken Lips was that guy's name. And then Big John down in Stockton, and Icebox. I don't know if y'all remember those guys, but John had it. I mean, John was my radio guy. Icebox was my guy. If something went wrong, I went to Icebox, because that dude just knew his stuff. But I'll tell you, John was a good guy, man. I had some antennas go foul on me one time, and I was up in Lodi, and he was down in Stockton, and he came up and met me at the truck stop, took old antennas off, put new ones on, sent me down the road. And I'll tell you, that to me, that's how it is. That's how it should be. So hopefully there's guys out there like that want to take care of you, and those are the guys we want to find. So let's see what we can do to make one of them part of the 10-4 family. Get you in that bonus bucket. Come on. All right, listen, my guy Carlos, we started a little project together, and I didn't bring it down here, but I got Carlos. I got a card today from TransUnion, and it was like, hey, here's what's up. We don't have a decision yet, but we know you're out there, kind of thing, So we'll talk about that here in a second. and many more things. But Carlos was affiliated with another company that we did a webcast with, and was a good experience for those that caught it. And if you didn't catch it, go back and watch it on the playback. But we're going to expand on that and then some. And I think something that really anybody out there, whether you're trying to get business credit or anything else, this is what everybody needs to know. And this is how to clean up your credit. Carlos, what's going on, my man?
Hey, John, how you doing? Thanks for having me back, man. Glad to be here.
Oh yeah. No, I'm glad to have you here and be a part of the show and share with the audience. You know, like I just said, we got that thing in the mail today, just a little, and I'll tell you, just a little teeny card, man. I mean, let me tell you, they're not spending any money sending those things out, but they it tells you what's up, and that's all they need to do. So, I guess that means we're stirring the pot a little bit so far, right?
Exactly what it means. Yeah, it means they need to get on their stuff and fix it now.
Good. Well, that's what we want to hear. I want to make sure this gets straightened out, because I got one ding on my credit right now, and that's it. And you're taking it to them, so hopefully we'll get some results on that quick. So, I had all these thoughts about what it means, when you get a hold of a credit guy like yourself. And by the way, everybody, if y'all have questions, ask the questions. This is all a conversation between me and Carlos and you guys, and we want to have you definitely jump in here and be a part of this. So, and Carlos will share his information, how to get a hold of him, do all that when we get done here. But questions I have, and you expand on this. I'm just going to throw what I have out there, and that's the obvious reason most people get a hold of a credit guy like you is a credit. What do you call it? What would you call yourself? What's your title?
I mean, credit. Well, I'm a certified credit analyst. That's really what it is. I am certified. You need to be certified to do these things. So, and it's both for personal credit and business credit.
Okay, well that's great, because a lot of these companies and individuals that I know in my networking experiences over the years, they do kind of one or the other. Not a lot of them overlap, but it's a matter of, if you have good credit, you want to keep it.
Yep.
And you want to expand on that. And my understanding now is we're all the way up to 900. That's like the top of the heap, right?
Yeah, it's like impossible to achieve that, but yeah.
It's like you got millions of dollars of credit. You don't have any debt, and all these cards and whatever's, and everything's at a zero balance, right?
Right.
And you spend a nickel. Yeah, you spend a nickel and you're screwed. Now you're down to like 600.
Not quite, John, but yeah, I do.
Not quite that bad, but it'll ding. And I, it's an everyday thing. I mean, I'm obsessed with it, man. Now to the point where, I want to pay stuff off as fast as I can so it doesn't affect my score, because I like seeing the opportunities that come with it.
Sure.
And if you've never had a high score, until you do, you won't know what that's like. But these guys are throwing stuff at you, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what it's all about. I mean, when you have good credit on the business side or on the personal side, you're just a world of opportunity opens up to you. And especially for you truckers out there that, own your own trucks, or whether it's 1 or 10, if you ever want to expand your business, I always say, use the bank's money, OPM, other people's money. That's how you grow. Those big trucking companies out there that have, hundreds and thousands of trucks, I guarantee you they're not using their personal credit cards, or, they're not using their profits. They're using.
Well, no, you don't want to. No, you want to make sure you leverage your ability, your credit, as much as you can. And I mean, listen, the benefits of that carry over every year, and can be called a loss carryover. And most of you guys probably know this, but even if you're just an owner operator on a small scale, or your driver, it doesn't matter, man. You got expenses while you're out on the road.
Sure.
Period.
Even as a driver, yeah.
It counts as an operating expense, and it could be a loss carryover, and many other different ways of, working the system. Hey, listen, the system, we didn't design it. We just got to know how to navigate it, right?
Right. It's like taxes. nobody has a clue how taxes work unless you're an accountant, so that's why you
Right.
need one.
Right. Exactly. So from your standpoint, and I would say as a credit analyst expert, uh, credit guy, the guy that we call to when we need it fixed, what's a good place to start for our people out there, in any condition, good or bad? I mean, is there some things we would start off at, like, here's the bottom, let's work up the ladder a little bit?
Like, yeah, I mean, it really depends, John. I mean, I guess there's a lot of different scenarios out there. You may, in some scenarios you don't have any credit, so you have to open up some small cards or things like that, just to kind of get your credit going, or in some scenarios maybe you have some a couple dings on your credit that are hurting you. And that's where where I can come into play and help, or in some cases maybe you don't have any dings, but you're using a lot of your credit cards to for your fuel and for some of those other expenses, just like you just mentioned, and you run up your credit card balances and your credit score goes down. So yeah, it's just there's a lot of different scenarios, but that's why I'm here. I mean, Google, right? You can find out a lot of things on Google, really. I always tell my clients, like, these are you can research yourself, but yeah, it really depends on the scenario, and the situation that person is in.
It's kind of been my experience that there's sort of two things happening here, and that's, if you got good credit, they're all throwing money at you.
Yep.
If you got bad credit, nobody wants to know you except the collection agencies.
Exactly.
and that's no way to be. But listen, stuff happens, and coming out of a pandemic like the world did and is still, there was a lot of folks suffering from that, myself included. Man, it was a shutdown of what we do in marketing and in the magazine world, 10-4 magazine. We certainly felt it, but you know what? We got through it, and it's still on a rebuilding process. I mean, listen, I feel for the people that didn't make it through that thing, but the whole deal about credit, it's like, you learn this as a kid, at least I did. You go to the bank, say, I want a loan. They're like, you got any money? Well, no, I'm here. I need a loan.
Exactly.
Well, the way we work is you need to have money in the bank so we can give you a loan. I'm like, okay, this makes no stinking sense to me. And I'm out of there. that was the end of that. But now you really do realize that there is something to that. And of course, now it's even more prevalent than ever. And, the worst case scenarios, I mean, let's talk about that one. And that's, somebody has to file an 11 or a 13, or they start out, with how does it go? So you file with 11 and you end up in a 7, or I can't remember how my.
Yeah, it depends.
I'm not going to kid you guys. Listen, I've been down that road, and it starts out, one way and ends up another. And this, again, the system's there for that kind of stuff,
Right.
so that you end up in a big hole, and I mean in a big, big hole. So. How long does that stuff stick with you, Carlos? How long is it going to be on your report?
Yeah, a bankruptcy, 11 or 13 is 7 years, and then like a 7 is 10 years. So you have to, it's a long time. Yeah, and there's always other options. I mean, that's why I tell my clients, like, before you make that decision, talk with somebody like me, because there could be other things that you can do, to kind of get out of that a little quicker.
Okay.
In some scenarios, it's not as bad as you think. I think a lot of people file bankruptcy because they just feel like there's no way out. But there is a lot of times.
And I was going to say, dovetailing in on what you said there, 10 years may seem like a lot of time. 10 years is a lot of time, but you would be surprised how fast, once you file, the companies are throwing credit at you.
That's true too. That is 100% true. Yeah, it's if you file, because the banks know once you file bankruptcy that you have to pay them because you can't hide behind bankruptcy anymore. So they do give you a lot of credit. So yeah, I mean, that's this great, beautiful country that we live in. I always say that you have a lot of options out there.
Yeah.
But credit, like you said, John, is just it's something that you want to leverage. If you have okay credit, get great credit. If you have great credit, hang on to it. even if if you don't want a loan, or you don't need a loan, or you don't want to get into debt. A lot of my clients say, well, I don't want to get into debt. No, it's for a rainy day. When you have good credit or good business credit and something goes wrong, you just said we came out of a pandemic. You never know what's going to happen.
Right.
And it's really good to have just for a rainy day. You never know when, you may need to access some capital to save you from whatever it is that you're going through in that moment.
So if we were to have, let's say top 3 credit habits, meaning, how many credit cards should you have? What kind of, varied credit should you have? Should you focus on, one or the other? I mean, just what are the kind of like, here's 1, 2, 3. What are they? Do you have those?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So number one is one of the biggest factors that the credit bureaus will analyze is how long have you had your credit established, right? So, if you don't have established credit, do it now, right? The best time to grow a tree is today, right? Or to plant a tree. So that's the number one thing they look at. And then number 2 is you're paying on time. So, no matter what, don't ever be more than 29 days late on any payment that you have, especially like a mortgage, credit card, department store card, whatever it is. Just don't be more than 29 days late. You be 29 days late, make a payment. Don't get to that 30-day, because that's a big no on your credit. And then the third thing is when you do get credit, let's say you have, $1,000 credit card, you want to keep it below 20% of a rolling balance. So if you have $1,000 credit card, you want to keep it at $200 or less. So if you spend, if you go crazy one month and you spend $800, try to pay that back down to 20% as fast as you can. And if you do those 3 things effectively, then you're going to have your credit's going to be in the 700s, and anything above 740, 750 is really exceptional credit. And I know, John, you're shooting for that 900. I know you are, or that 850, which you'll probably be pretty close. You'll probably be pretty close. But, the reality is if you're above 750, 760, that's when the banks love you. Just like you said, the banks, the lenders, the equipment lenders, those guys are they're throwing everything at you. They want your business. Yeah.
Well, and considering right now, I mean, the rates, and I keep track of this because I'm in the business of selling new equipment, and we don't offer financing, but I see what these guys are up against, and I don't know what, the equipment loans right now. I know it's not pretty out there, but listen, credit cards are, ooh, boy, are they ugly, man. I mean, there's 30% plus APR out there on credit cards right now, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, holy hell, dude.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's what I'm saying. That's why it's important to keep your balance as low as you can. And again, I know there's emergencies that emerge, or you have to spend money. That's what you have a credit card for. But you got to try to keep it below 20% of a rolling balance of your total credit limit.
Total credit.
That way you're not getting eaten up on interest too.
Yeah. Well, and the types of credit, that's the other thing, and that's where I'm taking a hit. I don't have anything, that I don't have a mortgage to pay right now. I don't have any revolving, I'm not paying Snap-on right now, and or other, revolving things that could be an opportunity. I mean, this is not a new thing either. I mean, this goes back when I was a kid and working for the car dealerships, and the guys are telling me, yeah, dude, you need to have yourself some variable credit of sorts. Go buy a diamond ring, anything, just to get on a revolving credit kind of deal. And get a mix of different credit that you have. And I'm like, okay, so nothing's changed. It's still the same. They want to see that you pay everything, not just, these. But a little trick I learned, and I don't, it's not like it's a great big secret, but and like Carlos and I are talking about here, credit cards, if you've got anything reasonably decent of a credit rating, you're going to get credit card offers thrown at you. Don't, grab everything out there. Be selective. Number one rule, don't get a credit card with a yearly fee. There's just no reason for it. Okay. There's not, unless you're building credit and they throw this really awesome deal at you. Yeah, I did it. And it's a reasonable cost.
Yeah. Everybody has to start there. So it's okay.
Yeah. So you do. And I'm saying reasonable, man. I'm saying $100 a year. It's not out of, American Express has got a card for $650 a year. I'm thinking, what are you smoking, man? That's just not, what are they going to give you that made it worth $650 a year to have that credit card? Nothing I can think of, but not my deal. Just that's what's out there. So be careful about those things. But the point being, you have these credit cards out there, and it gives you a larger credit. You have a larger amount available, and that boosts your numbers up. So
yeah, and I'll add to that, John. If you do have decent credit, and you have the option to look for cards out there, look for the ones with rewards, right? Like going back to the American Express you're talking about, that's probably the platinum card.
Something like that.
The cool thing is you pay $650 a year, but you can make fivefold that in rewards, like trips, plane tickets, concerts. So you can actually, you can take advantage. I mean, even though it's $650 a year, you can probably get $2,000 or $3,000 worth of rewards. So you make your money back, but you have to be responsible and use your credit. Don't max it out and pay the minimum payment, because then, like you said, that's when you're getting eaten up in interest. And again, if everybody goes through rough times. I filed bankruptcy once, in my mid-20s, so it's there for you. Like if you need to file bankruptcy, don't be afraid to do it, but talk to somebody about it. Talk to an attorney. I'm here for you guys. Like if anybody, questions, all my consultations are free. So any questions, I'm here to help you with,
I think the main thing to do is get ahead of it, before you have to be reactive, be proactive.
Yes.
And do what you can to put a strategy together. So let's talk about your website. And first off, I want to say, my buddy Chris, he's investing in carbonless wind turbines, and Timothy Hay. You got to know my buddy Chris. He's got a real acerbic sense of humor, and I get it, Chris. Trust me. You're just trying to be funny. But listen, you know what? Let me get something clear about it, and that's that. I think you need to be responsible, number one, and try to do the best you can, pay your bills, and stay ahead of things. And when you can't, you need to have something that can help you out. And listen, the biggest people and the most money-worthy, wealthy people, they've run into trouble. People have problems of all walks of life, and there's laws and things out there to help us. Hopefully friends and family too, man. I'll tell you what, there's people I know that have had GoFundMe accounts on social media in times of when it's like they're at their bottom, man, and no way to get out unless we all pull together and help each other. And I have not had a problem helping people. And I mean, these are people, some of them I haven't talked to them in 30, 40 years, man, but I went to school with them. I knew them. I liked them. And some of them hit some hard times. And, we all have that moment in our life. We do. There's ways though to try to, get yourself ahead of it. And I've got to say, there's a lot of tools out there, and you have one, and you introduced it to me, and that's your website and the way it works. So tell them about that.
So you're talking for what I did for you, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what I do is, if you want to do a credit consultation, there's a website. It's called Credit Hero. You can subscribe for it, and it's kind of like a Credit Karma, but it's a little bit more accurate. And it's called Credit Hero Score, and you can, through me, or even go check it out yourself. You can sign up. It's $1, but then, if you want to pay a subscription, $19.99 a month, you don't have to. But the main thing is you can pull all 3 of your credit reports. There's a lot of websites out there, by the way, John, that can do that for you. But the one that I use syncs with my software. It's called Credit Hero Score. And that one, it'll pull your credit report. It'll tell you exactly what's wrong. It'll give you like a comprehensive analysis of your credit and what you need to do to get it back on track. And it's all free. Well, it's $1. Sorry. they do make you pay $1.
Yeah, it's $1.
Yeah, $1. And it'll give you an analysis yourself, right? You don't even need me to do it. But if you want to, loop me in, then we can dive deeper into it. And then you can kind of get an idea of what you have to do to get back on track. Again, even if you have good credit and you want fantastic credit, there's ways to do it. There you go, James Amex, true story. I take advantage of the rewards. Yeah, I mean, again, that's what you have to do. But yeah, so Credit Hero Score is the name of the website, and again, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It explains to you exactly what's going on with your credit.
And Jeremy, I think we just answered that question. And again, Carlos will share his information at the end here when we're done, and he can post it up into the comments, and that way you guys know how to get a hold of him and how he can help you out. And I think that's why I said your website, because I know they're tied together with what you use, your software tool that you have.
Yep.
Works with this other site. So yeah, yes. Bottom line, there's a lot of choices out there, man. There's a lot of choices in how to monitor, how to, create credit, how to keep credit cards, on and on and on and on, man. There's just, there's tons out there, but there's nothing better than having somebody to work with that you can call and talk to. And of course, put all the latest technology and strategies into play for you. And this is where Carlos comes in, guys. He can help you do that. He can be your go-to guy, and working together, shooting for a goal in mind, have a positive outcome.
Couldn't said it better myself, John. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to say thanks for coming out and hanging with us today. I've got a couple of more things I want to share with everybody out there. We've got something that new magazine's coming out, actually going to hit the streets tomorrow. We have a preview here that's coming up, as Dan had mentioned just a little bit earlier, and that is that we're actually going to share the cover and the centerfold of the March 2024 edition of 10-4 magazine. And I'm not going to give up anything until we get into that part of the show. But let me tell you, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to dig it, and it's a big surprise for some people that are close and near and dear to me. So, Carlos, parting ways here, and until we talk again, and the folks out there watching today, anything you want to leave us with that would be helpful besides giving us your information? You could do that when you're done.
Yeah, I mean, just there's a lot of tools out there. I'll reiterate. There's a lot of websites. Experian has their own website. A lot of the credit card companies now, they will offer free credit monitoring. So just use the tools that are out there. Don't try to go it alone. Sometimes if you ask friends, they may not know, because I've had clients come to me and say, my friend told me this. I'm like, oh God, no, that's not even close. Yep. So, use your tools, use your resources, to monitor your credit, or, do your research. But there's a lot of people like me out there too, that could happy to help you out. And I'm, John, again, thanks for having me, and Dan, and you guys are great. And I love working with you guys. So feel free to reach out, ask any questions you want.
Well, I appreciate it. And without you, of course, there's no help to our listeners and watchers out there. And Chris, for as much of a smart A as you are there, buddy, if you're listening and following along, yeah, everybody goes in and has problems in their life. He did his back in his 20s. What were you doing in your 20s, Carlos? You probably weren't doing this. Right?
No, I was being a guy in his 20s. How about that?
Yeah, there you go. Irresponsible like 20-year-old. And by the way, my buddy's name is Chris Darch. Darch, like, you got room to talk, buddy. I was there. I know where the bodies are buried. So keep it to yourself. Carlos, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you tuning in and being on the show with us and being a part of what we do here. Love to get you in the magazine and have a regular presence there and on the show here too. So, guys, reach out to Carlos. Carlos, how can we find you?
I mean, I can. I was gonna send my. I have my email that I can put in the chat.
Yep, do that.
You'll have to help me do. I'm like, I don't know where to do it though. I'm sorry.
You just type it in, and don't you have a window in there somewhere where you can type a comment?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Here we go. Okay. I'll put it.
There you go. But yeah, go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you. The .com, the @ whatever it is, Facebook, Instagram, any of those things. What are we looking at?
Yep, I will. I'll definitely my email. I'm going to give my personal phone number too, so anybody can text me or call me. I have an Instagram handle. I actually have a Facebook too. So yeah, I'll put all that stuff in there.
Name them. You got names? We got title. We got a handle.
Yeah, corporate.
I mean, right now you can tell me if you got them.
Corporate Credit for You is my handle.
Okay, there you go.
And again, it says corporate credit, but I do both. So,
Yeah, right. Exactly. No, that's the point. So, all right, good enough, Carlos. Good talking to you again. And hey, good luck with Otani, huh?
All right, yeah. Oh man, can't wait. I think his second or third at bat yesterday hit one out of the park. So thank you.
Yeah, well, he better for the money he's getting paid, man. That dude ought to get up there and swing him and put him out of the park, and then when he's on the mound, he'd strike everybody out.
For that money, you're absolutely right. Yeah, you better earn his paycheck.
We're all crying in San Francisco because Brandon Crawford left and went to the Cardinals of all places. So it'll be interesting, and we play those guys every year, so it's going to be interesting to have Brandon Crawford, our ace shortstop for, I don't know, 13 years or however long it was, and two World Series.
He's a giant through and through, that guy, for sure.
Yeah, he'll be back. He'll be back, and I don't mean as a player, but he'll be back as a treasure that's there for everybody to enjoy for years to come. And yeah, Dan Lynn's there, man. You got a brother in arms with our editor, Dan Lynn's, and that's there it is.
Love it.
He's a SoCal man, so yeah, go Dodgers. All right, Carlos, take care. We'll talk to you soon, and keep the good thoughts there, man. Thanks for all the advice.
Take care, man. Thank you so much.
All right, Carlos Borgen there, guys. Appreciate everybody. Hey, John, go Cards. Yeah, thanks, buddy. It's going to be fun. Baseball season's just around the corner, and looking forward to it, man. I really enjoy baseball. Always have. Been a Giants fan since I was, old enough to know what was going on in front of me. Probably before that, just didn't know it. I can remember watching games with my dad on a little black and white TV that people wouldn't even know what that is now. But anyway, yeah, Dan voting for Steve Garvey. Good, man. I think he's still around. So anyway, listen, we've got something special we're not normally in the habit of doing, but I'm going to bring this over here so I can have this ready. And, 10-4, and I looked back at our covers over the years, and we've had a few of these trucks on the cover. Probably, with I think within reason 1, 2, 3, 4. I think this is the fifth one you're teasing for ratings. Come on. Thank you. Yeah, good one. It's good. Did you guys hear that, by the way? It's kind of a new thing. Was it, you guys hear the applause that come through? Nope, did not. Okay. Maybe it did, maybe it did. Anyway, there is definitely something about these trucks, and I don't say that just because I happen to have a connection, but I do, and I happen to know the owner quite well and have known him for many years as well. All I can say is this: 10-4 magazine is probably one of the most diversified trucking publications out there that doesn't just fix and focus on the outlandish, the extreme, the show truck. We try to put it in perspective out there for you guys so you can see who's out there running and working and doing what you're doing every day. And that's out there running to make some money and pay the bills and earn a livelihood, take care of our families, help our friends out. And if we want to look good while we're doing it, well, damn it, why not? We may as well. And some of us do it better than others. And when they do, that's probably when they end up on the cover of 10-4 magazine. And I have to say, too, it's not just always about the truck and how it looks. It's got a lot to do with the guy behind the wheel. So would like to say welcome to the family. And I have something special set up here as well. I don't know if it's going to work or not. Let's see if it does. Give me a second here. New toys, putting them all to work here and seeing if I can't get it to happen. All right. Just about there. Okay, here we go. Hopefully you guys will hear this. Did you guys hear the drum roll? I hope you did. If you didn't, sorry about that, but I want to say welcome to the family. Welcome to 10-4 Magazine, Mr. Bruce Campbell and his beautiful Peterbilt 389 Rogue transfer set. And this truck is something of a special project that, as they all are with Bruce and how he puts them together, but it's kind of a classic and it's a tribute to the old school with the new school in mind. There's a great story behind Bruce, his truck, and what he has done over the years with customization and different things that he's brought up to Rogue Truck Body. And you guys will be able to read all about that here online by probably sometime this weekend. And if you have a subscription, they're going to be going out and you'll be getting them any day. So we hitting the streets tomorrow officially, and there'll be a lot more looks at Bruce's truck for everybody to see there in print in the magazine and of course online. Those of you guys that are in the West Coast, you've probably seen Bruce at many shows. He loves coming and hanging out and sharing his trucks with everybody. He was in Reno last year. He was at Truckin' for Kids last year. I know he was at a couple other ones out here on the West Coast as well. So Bruce definitely makes the rounds and gets out there and plays out there in the sandbox with everyone. Nice guy and real family orientated guy. Kind of keeps to himself. And I bet there's probably a lot of stories out there that just really don't know the real Bruce Campbell. But I do. And I want to say, you know what? He's every bit as humble as that truck is a sleeper to me. It is. It looks pretty simple, but there's some things on there that are just very unique, very special one-off and Bruce Campbell. So Jamie Williams, the coolest dump truck you're ever going to have, buddy. It's going to be if you get a Rogue truck body. So we need to talk, my friend. I know you got some beautiful trucks out there, but coming from my heart, I got to say, Rogue truck body. I got one more for you guys. Let me bring it up here. And this is going to be another special. Let's give it one more try and see if we can get the old drum roll in there. Let's make it happen. That ain't it. There it is. All right. Congratulations again, Bruce. That is a beautiful truck, beautiful shot there, Dan. Great job. I like to say that I'm happy that the center and the cover are the ones that I liked the best out of all the photos that were shot. Definitely a great looking truck and a lot of cool stuff going on there. Be looking for this guy to come out again. It'll be out tomorrow, hitting the racks. If you don't have a subscription to 10-4 Magazine, you should get one, and then you probably get this in the mail delivered directly to you right away. So, yeah, you know what, Jamie, you're right. There's the colors are there for St. Patrick's this coming up March. So, absolutely, and there's absolutely some more cool news about this truck coming out, and I'm going to wait to tell you and share with you what that is, but it's big deal. And we at 10-4 are just super excited to have this happen with this truck and Bruce and his family. So looking forward to sharing that with you guys. Yeah, I'm teasing it more. That's absolutely correct. It's what we do to keep you interested, but look for that announcement next week. We'll share it with you then after the magazine's had a chance to come out and be out there with everybody. All right, guys, listen, appreciate Dolores. Good to have you on the show as always. And thanks for tuning in. And everybody, Carlos's information is up. Carlos at Business Growth USA is his email, and his direct line 818-422-7006. It's in the comments. So all you need to do is go back in there, look through the comments. If you want to write it down, here it is again, Carlos at businessgrowthusa.net. And his direct phone line is 422-7006, and he'll get you taken care of. Looking forward to what's coming up. We got a big month coming up, man. March is Matt's Mid-America Truck Show, and of course the Paul K. Young Truck Beauty Championship. Be out there. 10-4 will be out there again, and we will be in the North Wing as we always are. Same booth, same location. Got some special announcements going along with that as well. We just got all kinds of cool stuff coming up. I can't share with you yet, but we're going to. Get yourselves going for Truckin' for Kids. If you haven't pre-registered and you're going to show, get her done, man. Get it done. Let's get those bonus buckets named. Every one of them that's going to get handed out goes to the first 200 guys that sign up to be at the show. The rest of us, the rest of us are just going to be able to get in, and we can get our tickets online as well. 104magazine.com. Go to the TFK tab and get yourself into the show all set up and ready to go. And the show again is going to be Saturday and Sunday, open to the public both days. Saturday night going to be the light show. Sunday all day going to be truck drags and show and shine and all kinds of fun stuff happening out there. We've got tons of vendors that are going to be out there representing. So all the cool stuff that you guys want to get for your trucks and other information will be out there and be available as well. Can't wait to see everybody this year in Irwindale, since especially this last year I wasn't able to make it down there. All right, Dan, good to see you on the show. Thanks for tuning in. I know you're a busy guy. A lot of going on there with the magazine and getting things taken care of, whether it's outside weeding or otherwise. You're definitely time is valuable, as is with all of us. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I hope I didn't forget anybody or anything. As of right now, I think we got it all covered. Let me just check one more thing before I let us all go here. Definitely want to thank Minimizer. Appreciate them for always being there with us here at 10-4 Magazine and Studio 10-4 Live. Minimizer is a big company that's part of a even bigger company. So there's a lot of other products out there under their wings that is actually High Bar Brands, which is the parent of all these companies. And here's a name that you probably haven't heard in a while, but you're going to be hearing a lot more of, and that is Panelite. Panelite is back, and High Bar Brands bought them and is now putting them back into production and getting those great Panelite products that we're all so familiar with and used to having out there in the stainless steel polished truck accessory market, and putting them back out there for you guys to get at your local chrome shop, wherever you buy accessories and parts for your trucks. All right, y'all, take care. Listen, keep the shiny side up. JT here saying so long till next week, and Studio 10-4 Live will be back here for you. And by the way, March 1st, this Friday, I'll be celebrating a little birthday thing going on. I'll be, let's see, I think I'm like 49 or 50 this year, I think. Something like that. And that's safe to say. I don't know. Anyways, thanks, y'all, for letting me do what I do here with you. Appreciate it. Take care. We'll see you next week.